getting ready for a general counsel interview.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about pressure. We're going to do a deep dive into interview prep today.
Okay.
We've got this really cool article from Interview Ace.
Mm-hmm.
It's a career coaching site.
Okay.
They've got advice from top coaches and people in the industry.
Interesting.
And we're going to help make it stick.
That's good, because there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, there is.
What I find really interesting is Interview Apes doesn't just give you, like, sample answers.
Right.
They really break down the why
Yes.
behind each question, which I think is so important.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes even more important than just having a good answer.
Yeah.
They even have some examples from real people who got top GC jobs
Exactly.
from their advice.
You've got to know what the interviewers are really looking for,
Right.
not just giving like a canned response.
Exactly.
And the article highlights some key qualities
Okay.
that companies really value in a general counsel.
It's not just about knowing the law.
Well, yeah, you have to know the law.
Obviously, that's important.
Yeah.
But they really want someone with serious business acumen,
Okay.
strategic thinking. Like, they need to understand.
The big picture.
Yeah.
So how do you show that in an interview?
Well, that's where I think specific examples are really key.
Okay.
Think about a time that you spotted a legal issue
Mm-hmm.
that could have cost the company a lot of money,
Okay.
or maybe even a time that you helped structure a deal
Yeah.
to really maximize the profit.
So connect the dots.
Yeah.
Show how your legal knowledge
Exactly.
contributed to the company.
You're not just a lawyer. You're a strategic advisor
Yeah.
who helps the company meet its goals.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the article breaks down 23
Wow.
common interview questions,
Okay.
and it explains what the interviewer is really trying to assess.
It's like a cheat sheet
It is.
for the interview.
Okay, so first question.
Right.
How do you manage legal risks in a rapidly changing regulatory environment? It says the interviewer is really looking for your ability to, like, anticipate and mitigate legal challenges,
Right.
and at the same time making sure that the company is on the right side of the law.
So you need to stay ahead of the curve.
Okay.
Imagine you're interviewing at a tech company
Okay.
that's developing AI technology.
Uh-huh.
What are some of the legal and ethical issues they might face?
Oh, wow. I mean, data privacy,
Yes.
potential bias in algorithms,
Definitely.
IP issues.
Yeah.
So many.
So you would want to talk about how you know about these new trends,
Okay.
and even more, how you can develop a strategy to address them.
Okay, so you could say, I stay up to date on legislation. I work with engineers to design ethical algorithms,
Yes.
or I engage with regulators.
Right. You're not just waiting for problems to happen. You're anticipating them
Okay,
and protecting the company.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, question 2.
Okay.
Can you describe a situation where you provided legal advice under tight deadlines without compromising quality?
So this is all about performing under pressure,
Yeah.
because general counsels have to make tough calls quickly.
Yeah.
They want to know they can trust you
Right.
to give accurate and well thought out advice.
Even when there's not much time.
Yeah, exactly.
So can't just say you're good under pressure.
Right. You need to have an example.
The article suggests picking something that shows that you can prioritize tasks,
Mm-hmm.
manage resources well,
Exactly.
and maybe use technology to, like, make your workflow better.
Streamline things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say you were working on a big acquisition
Okay.
and the due diligence process was super fast.
Right.
You could say how you put a team together,
Yeah.
delegated tasks,
Mm-hmm.
and use data tools to find legal risks.
And what was the outcome?
Yeah.
Were you able to close the deal on time?
Did you find something that could have been a problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all about showing what you did under pressure
Right.
and the results.
Okay, question 3 is a tough one.
Okay, let's hear it.
How do you prioritize competing legal issues across multiple jurisdictions?
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Especially if you're at a global company.
You could have a contract dispute in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
a product liability issue in Asia,
Yeah.
a regulatory investigation here.
All at the same time.
Okay, how do you decide?
Well, that's where your strategic thinking comes in
Okay.
and your risk assessment skills.
First, you assess the urgency of each one.
Yeah. What are the consequences of waiting?
Yeah,
Which ones pose the biggest risk
to the company.
to the company's operations,
Yeah.
reputation, or, financial stability?
Right. And every legal system's different.
Exactly. What's a small problem in one place
Yeah.
might be a huge problem somewhere else.
You need to show you've got a global perspective.
A global mindset.
So maybe you've got relationships with local lawyers.
Yeah, that can be really helpful.
Or a system for tracking all the different rules.
It's not just about prioritizing tasks.
Right.
It's about managing this whole legal portfolio.
Like a global legal portfolio.
Yeah, you're showing that you can handle a lot of things.
Yeah.
Make good decisions.
And protect the company all over the world.
Exactly.
Question 4. Can you provide an example of a complex contract negotiation you led and its outcome?
Okay, so this is where you can show how you fight for the company,
Okay.
how you find solutions,
Yeah.
and how you close deals.
That help everyone.
Yes.
So you have to understand the business goals,
It's
not
just-
the legal terms. Okay, so it's about negotiating to reach those goals.
Right, and building relationships,
Yeah.
finding common ground.
So you could talk about a major licensing agreement with
Yeah.
a partner.
Yeah.
And highlight the challenges, the solutions, and the positive results.
And what you learned.
Yeah,
Did you try any new tactics?
right.
Did you figure out what the other side really wanted?
Question 5 is all about metrics.
Oh, okay.
What metrics do you use to evaluate the effectiveness of the legal department?
This is where you show that you're not just focused on like the legal stuff by itself.
Right.
You understand how the department helps the whole business?
It's not just about winning or losing cases,
Exactly. It's a bigger picture.
like cost reduction,
Uh-huh.
risk mitigation,
Yeah.
stakeholder satisfaction.
You need to show that you can measure the value that the legal team brings.
So like maybe you could talk about a new contract management system that saved the company money, or a training program that reduced employee disputes.
Those are really good examples.
Yeah.
It's all about showing that you can measure the impact.
Question 6 is about intellectual property.
Oh,
What is your experience with intellectual property management and protection?
this is so important for companies in tech.
Yeah, pharmaceuticals, entertainment.
They need to know you understand how valuable their IP is.
Right.
And that you can protect it.
It's not just about knowing the law.
Right. You have to know how to manage and protect it as part of the business strategy.
So you could talk about creating an IP policy. Yeah.
Working with engineers to get patents,
Definitely.
defending trademarks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you set up a system for managing licenses
It's great.
to make sure they're getting the most value out of their IP.
You're not just a legal expert. You're a strategic partner,
Yeah.
helping them use their IP to be competitive.
Okay. Question 7 gets serious.
Oh, boy.
How do you handle internal investigations?
These are tough.
Yeah.
They're really sensitive
You need to be discreet and thorough.
and fair.
Yes.
They want to know you can handle these things professionally and with integrity.
So it's not just finding out the truth.
Right. You have to do it the right way.
Protecting the company.
Exactly.
Maintaining confidentiality.
Mhm.
Treating everyone fairly.
You could talk about how you have a process for these investigations.
Good.
How you make sure all the evidence is reviewed objectively.
Mm-hmm.
And how you communicate what you find.
So, for example, what if an employee says a senior executive did something wrong?
That's a tough one.
You have to be impartial.
Make sure the investigation is fair
Uh-huh.
and make recommendations that are in the best interest of the company.
It's all about showing your judgment,
Mhm.
your discretion,
Yeah.
and how you handle these difficult situations.
With sensitivity and professionalism.
Exactly.
Okay, let's pause for a second.
Okay.
We've covered a lot.
We have.
It's clear that these questions are looking for more than just legal knowledge.
Right. They want to know how you think strategically
How you lead.
and handle tough situations with integrity.
Yeah.
It's about being a business partner, not just a lawyer.
We'll be back soon to dive into more questions
I'm ready.
and talk about more strategies for that General Counsel interview.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, welcome back. We're in the middle of prepping for General Counsel interviews.
Okay.
Still using that Interview Ace article. You're ready for more questions?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, question 8.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience in litigation management, including any significant cases you've handled?
So this is about more than just having been in court.
Right.
It's showing how to come up with a plan, manage tough cases, and make hard decisions.
When things are stressful.
Exactly.
So they want someone who can assess the risks
Yeah.
and the rewards of litigation,
Mm-hmm.
make a good strategy,
Uh-huh.
and get the best outcome, whether that's a settlement or going to trial.
Right.
So what kind of example would really wow them?
Think about a case that was really important where you had a big role.
Okay.
Maybe it was high stakes or had unique challenges.
Uh-huh.
Did you have to manage a whole team of lawyers?
Oh.
Did you have to come up with a new legal argument that convinced the court?
Did you negotiate a settlement that saved the company a ton of money?
Yeah, and it's not just about the result.
Right.
It's about how you solve problems
How you think on your feet.
and how you lead in tough situations.
Okay.
This is where you get to shine.
All right, question 9.
Okay.
How do you resolve conflicts between legal teams and other departments?
Ah, yes. The classic battle between legal and the business side.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen.
It is.
They want a GC who can bridge that gap.
Yeah.
Find solutions that everyone can live with.
So you can't just say no to everything.
Right. You have to understand what the business needs.
But also explain the legal limits.
Exactly.
And then find creative ways to make both work.
The article talks about communication, collaboration, and compromise.
Okay, so let's say marketing wants to launch this ad campaign.
Okay.
That's kind of pushing the limits of truth in advertising.
Oh, that's a good.
How would you handle that?
So you would explain the legal risks of misleading advertising,
Mm-hmm.
but then you could work with them to find other ways to get their message across
Yeah.
without breaking the rules,
So you're a legal expert, but
Yeah.
also a strategic advisor.
helping them achieve their goals while staying safe.
Yeah.
That's a valuable skill.
All right, question 10.
Okay.
What role do you play in advising senior management during mergers or acquisitions?
Okay, so this is where you can show that you can give strategic legal advice.
At the highest level.
Yeah, it's the top of the company.
Yeah.
It's about navigating those big deals.
So more than just looking over contracts.
Right, you have to see the big picture,
Okay.
anticipate problems,
Yeah.
and structure deals that protect the company.
So you're advising the CEO,
Yeah.
the board,
On decisions that could make or break the company.
big decisions.
You have to be able to analyze complex legal issues
Assess risks.
and explain your recommendations.
Clearly.
Yeah, they need to understand what you're saying.
Okay, so what kind of example would show, your stuff here?
Think about a time when you were really involved in a merger or an acquisition.
Okay.
Did you spot a problem that could have stopped the deal?
Okay.
Did you negotiate something that protected the company's intellectual property?
Uh-huh.
Did you help make the deal happen in a way that saved on taxes?
So it's not just the legal stuff.
Right, you need to understand business too,
Be able to think strategically.
and build relationships with the important people involved.
It shows that you're more than just a lawyer,
You're a trusted advisor.
helping the company reach its goals.
Exactly.
All right, question 11.
Let's hear.
What is your experience with alternative dispute resolution methods?
So this is about arbitration,
Yeah.
mediation.
Knowing when those are better than going to court.
Exactly. Companies want to resolve things quickly and cheaply.
Makes sense.
ADR can help with that.
What's a good example for this one?
You could talk about using mediation to solve a contract problem,
Okay.
or maybe you push for arbitration to avoid a long court battle.
So it's not just the outcome
Right. It's showing that you understand the process
that you can negotiate.
and that you want to find solutions that work for everyone.
Okay, question 12 could be interesting.
Oh boy.
Can you talk about a time when you had to challenge a business decision from a legal standpoint?
It's the classic lawyer versus business situation.
Yeah, it happened.
They want to know that you can speak up
When you need to.
when something's not right.
But also balance that with respecting the business decisions.
It's about being a trusted advisor.
So let's say the company wants to do a merger.
Okay.
That might raise antitrust issues.
That's a tricky one.
How would you approach that?
You would explain the legal risks,
Mm-hmm.
explain the antitrust laws,
Yeah.
and give your opinion on how likely there will be challenges.
And then you could offer other options.
Maybe restructure the deal,
Sell off some assets.
talk to regulators ahead of time.
Be proactive.
You're a problem solver,
Right.
not just someone who says no,
And showing that you're protecting the company.
in the short term and the long term.
Question 13.
Okay.
What is your experience with drafting and implementing corporate governance policies?
So this is about setting the ethical tone,
Yeah.
making sure the company does things the right way.
With integrity and transparency.
Corporate governance policies are the framework for how people should act.
Okay.
They outline the company's values,
Mm-hmm.
their commitment to compliance, and their accountability.
Okay, so give me an example of how you would answer this.
You could talk about a time you led the development of a code of conduct,
Okay.
or implemented a whistleblower hotline,
Mm-hmm.
or designed training on ethical decision-making.
So it's not just about making policies,
Right. You have to make sure they actually work
that everyone understands them.
and that they're part of the culture.
Yeah.
They should feel empowered to speak up if they see something wrong,
I like that.
and that ethical behavior is rewarded.
Okay, question 14.
Right.
How do you build and lead a high-performing legal team?
This is about the people.
Yeah.
They want to know that you can build a great team.
that works well together.
and gets things done.
It's more than just managing them.
Right. You have to inspire them.
Empower them.
Give them a place where they can do their best work.
What's your leadership style?
Yeah. Do you communicate well?
Do you collaborate?
Do you help them develop professionally?
Do you create a culture of trust?
All important questions.
So what would really impress them here?
You could talk about mentoring a younger lawyer who became really successful.
Okay.
Or maybe you created something new that improved morale and productivity.
Or led your team through a rough time.
Yeah, like a big lawsuit or a restructuring.
And came out stronger on the other side.
It's about showing that your team is more than just a group of individuals.
They're a force.
Yeah, they can achieve great things together.
Okay. Question 15.
Okay.
How do you manage the budget within the legal department?
The money question.
They want a GC who understands the value of the legal team,
Yeah,
but can also be responsible with spending.
it's about balance.
Right.
Providing great service.
But watching the bottom line.
You need to understand the company's financial goals.
Okay.
Know what to prioritize
Yeah.
and find ways to save money without sacrificing quality.
Give me some examples.
You could talk about negotiating a better rate with outside counsel
Okay.
or implementing a new technology that made things more efficient.
Saved money.
Yeah, or maybe you brought some legal functions in-house.
Instead of using outside counsel.
It's about showing you understand the financial side
Okay.
and that you can manage resources well.
All right. Question 16.
Okay.
What is the most challenging regulatory issue you faced, and how did you address it?
So this is about navigating those complex regulations.
Yeah.
Anticipating challenges and finding solutions.
More than just knowing the rules.
Right, you have to know how they actually work
How they impact the company.
and how to manage the risk.
So think about a time you faced a really tough regulatory issue.
Maybe a new law that no one was sure about, or an investigation that could have hurt the company's reputation,
Okay.
or some crazy compliance requirement.
So how did you solve it?
Did you do a ton of research to figure out the rules?
Did you talk to regulators?
Did you come up with creative solutions that followed the law?
Both in letter and spirit.
It's not just about fixing the problem.
Right. You have to be proactive,
Anticipate problems and keep the company compliant.
even when the rules are always changing.
Exactly.
Okay. Question 17.
Right.
Can you illustrate your experience with cross-border legal issues and international law?
This is about operating in a global world.
Companies that do business all over need a GC who can handle different legal systems and cultures.
It's more than just knowing the laws in different countries.
Yeah.
You need to know how they work together
How to manage risks across borders.
and how to comply with everything.
So think about a time you had a cross-border legal problem.
Okay.
Maybe a contract dispute with a company in another country, a regulatory investigation somewhere else, or a merger with companies from multiple countries.
Those are all complex situations.
But how did you handle it?
Did you put together a team of international lawyers?
Did you work with local lawyers in different countries?
Were you able to overcome cultural differences to get a good result?
So it's not just legal expertise.
Right, you have to be sensitive to different cultures.
Work well with people from different backgrounds.
Find solutions that work globally.
Okay.
You're showing that you have a global perspective
And that you can adapt.
and manage risks in a complicated world.
All right. Question 18.
Okay.
What are the key components of an effective compliance training program?
So this is about creating a culture of compliance,
Yeah.
making sure everyone understands the rules and what they need to do.
It's more than just having policies.
Right. They need to be understood and followed by everyone.
So what makes a good program?
It has to be engaging and informative
Okay.
and relevant to the company and its employees.
So the content should cover the laws and regulations,
Uh-huh.
company policies,
Yeah.
ethical decision-making,
And it should have real-world examples.
to make it more interesting. So how do you make it engaging and memorable?
You could use interactive workshops,
Okay.
online modules.
Even games.
Yeah, gamification can be really effective.
And you need to keep reminding people about compliance throughout the year.
It's everyone's responsibility.
Not just a box to check.
Right.
Okay. Question 19.
Okay.
How have you been involved in drafting and reviewing data privacy policies
So this is about protecting sensitive information.
in this digital age?
It's more than just knowing the laws,
You have to understand the practical implications
how to manage data responsibly.
and how to avoid risks.
So think about a time you worked on data privacy policies.
Okay.
Maybe you wrote a new policy
Updated an old one?
or did an audit to find problems.
What would make a good answer here?
Talk about how you made sure the policy was comprehensive,
If it's
easy to understand.
Did you talk to experts in data security and privacy?
Did you get input from different departments?
Did you explain the policy clearly to employees?
And provide training on how to follow it.
So it's not just about writing the policy,
Right, you have to create a culture of data privacy.
where everyone understands why it's important.
And follows the rules.
Okay, question 20. Can you share an instance where you had to adapt legal strategies due to unforeseen circumstances?
This is about thinking on your feet,
Yeah.
adjusting to changes, and finding solutions when things don't go as planned.
So more than just having a plan.
Right, you have to be flexible
Resourceful.
and able to change course when you need to.
So what if a new law got passed?
Okay.
Or a key witness disappeared?
Or a judge made a weird ruling.
How would you adapt?
Did you do more research?
Talk to colleagues or experts?
Come up with a new approach that still achieves what you needed.
So you're showing that you can analyze the situation,
Yeah?
see the new risks and opportunities.
And make a new plan.
Okay.
You can think strategically even when things are crazy.
All right, question 21.
Okay?
What is your experience with labor and employment law, particularly in diverse workplaces?
This is about the complexities of labor and employment law.
In a world that's more diverse and global.
It's not just about knowing the laws.
Right.
You have to know how they apply in different cultures.
How to manage a diverse workforce.
And how to make the workplace inclusive and legal.
What's your experience with labor and employment issues?
Have you dealt with discrimination complaints,
Harassment allegations?
wage and hour disputes?
Have you created policies to promote diversity and inclusion?
Those are all important areas.
Give me an example of a tough situation you faced.
Maybe you had to investigate a discrimination complaint
Okay.
or mediate a conflict.
Or develop a training program on diversity and inclusion.
It's about showing you understand the needs of a diverse workforce
And that you're committed to creating a fair workplace.
and that you can manage those issues with legal expertise and cultural awareness.
Question 22.
Okay.
How do you manage reputational risk from a legal perspective?
This is about understanding how legal problems can hurt the company's reputation.
And how to stop that from happening?
More than just avoiding lawsuits.
Right.
You have to be proactive.
Anticipate risks.
Protect the brand.
So think about what can damage a company's reputation.
A product liability lawsuit.
Okay.
A data breach.
Sure.
An environmental violation.
Even a bad news story.
It can all add up.
So how would you handle a situation that could hurt the company's reputation?
Maybe you have to respond to a bad news story.
Okay.
Manage a crisis communication plan.
Or come up with a plan to minimize the damage.
It's not just about reacting to a crisis.
You have to be proactive.
Have good compliance programs.
Build a culture of ethical behavior.
And maintain good relationships with key stakeholders.
Okay.
It's about understanding how legal issues and public perception are connected
And making sure you protect the company's brand.
for the long term.
Okay, last question.
All right, bring it on.
What are the biggest legal challenges you've encountered in scaling a business?
So this is about understanding the unique challenges that high-growth companies face.
And how to help them overcome those challenges.
It's more than just knowing the law.
Right.
You have to understand how businesses grow
Anticipate problems.
and find creative solutions.
What are some common challenges?
Raising capital,
Okay.
protecting intellectual property,
Navigating regulations in new markets.
managing a growing workforce.
So give me an example of how you helped a company overcome a legal obstacle that was holding them back.
Maybe you help them get funding
Okay.
or get regulatory approval.
Or deal with a tricky IP issue.
It's about showing you understand the business goals,
You can anticipate future problems.
and you can find solutions that support the company's growth.
It's about being a true business partner.
Someone who can provide legal guidance that helps them reach their goals.
Okay, we've gone through a lot today.
23 questions.
23 questions.
Wow.
Common interview questions for aspiring GCs.
That's a lot to think about.
We've really dug into the why behind each question
The reasoning.
and how to create answers that will resonate with interviewers.
We've talked about everything.
Regulations,
Building teams.
protecting the company's reputation.
Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up here,
What are some of the big takeaways?
well, I think the main thing is it's not enough to just know the law.
Right.
You have to be able to use it strategically.
You have to think like a business leader.
Yeah. Anticipate those challenges.
Find creative solutions.
And the Interview Ace article really stresses the importance of storytelling.
It
You
does.
can't just list your accomplishments.
Recite legal principles.
You got to bring those experiences to life.
Yeah, paint a picture.
Show them how you handled those tough situations,
Yeah.
led teams, and made a real difference.
You're not just proving, the law.
Right.
You're showing them who you are as a leader,
As a strategist.
as a problem solver.
And don't forget, this is a leadership role.
It is.
So show them your leadership style,
Yeah.
how you build relationships,
Create a positive work environment.
highlight those times you mentored someone,
Inspired a team.
navigated a conflict successfully.
Those are the stories that will make you stand out.
Absolutely.
And of course, ethics are huge. Companies want a GC they can trust,
Right, someone who will do the right thing.
even when it's hard.
Be ready to talk about ethical dilemmas,
How you handled them.
what you learned,
Show them your integrity.
your commitment to ethical decision-making.
So before we go, I have one more thing for you to think about.
Okay.
The article really emphasized staying ahead of the curve.
Anticipating those regulatory changes.
So what's one emerging legal trend that could really impact the company you're interviewing with?
That's a great question to consider.
It shows you're already thinking like a GC,
Yeah.
anticipating those challenges.
Developing strategies.
How would you, as general counsel, prepare for that trend?
Yeah.
What steps would you take to minimize the risk?
Protect the company.
Set them up for success.
Thinking through that will not only help you in the interview.
It'll give you a head start if you get the job.
That's right.
Well, that's it for our deep dive into general counsel interview prep.
Wow, we covered a lot.
We did.
I hope this helped.
We hope it gives you the insights and strategies you need.
To ace that interview.
Best of luck to you.
You got this.
Remember, it's not just about knowing the law.
It's about being a leader, strategist, a trusted advisor.
The kind of person companies are looking for.
Go get 'em.